Hello and welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature
Hello.
Film. I am Christopher Walken, also known as Brienne, also known as Miss Movies.
And I'm Bobby De Niro, also known as Stacey Howard. Hey, we're gonna do something different today.
We are.
I'm excited.
I labeled this as Russian roulette,
Yes.
our episode, because we don't know what's happening. I do know there are 2 flies in this house.
Yeah,
It's going
and
to
they're
drive me
buzzing
nuts.
around my head.
It's like that episode of Breaking Bad, which I just watched.
Oh, yeah.
The Fly, directed
Mhm.
by Ryan Johnson.
Oh.
What do you know? What Ryan Johnson?
Okay.
All right. So here's what's happening today. First of all, who are you?
Well, I said I was Stacey Howard,
Yes.
but I'm
And
your
what are you up to?
co-host. I am up to many things. Mischief. Up to mischief. Yeah.
Mischief. Okay,
Uh-huh.
great.
Mhm.
So here's what we're doing today.
Okay.
If you've never watched this show, this
Can
is
I
going to be
just
really
have you stop
strange.
for 1 second?
I'm stopping. What is happening?
You had like a piece of your,
Oh.
when like lipstick has chunks.
Oh, yeah.
So there's
Thank you.
that.
Thank you for
I'll
helping
put
me.
that on my cheeks
Thank
too,
you.
'cause it'll be
All right.
pink. It'll be cheeks.
So
We're
what
very close.
Yes, what we're doing today is we each wrote down 8 movies that we have not discussed on this show, or we think we have not discussed on this show.
Right.
It's possible we have.
Who knows? I'll
So
keep track.
each 8 movies, it's 16 total. And what we did is we put them in a hat, and we're going to draw out 6. So and then we'll just talk about those. Talking about those 6.
We have to try and figure out how they're linked up as well.
Yeah,
on the
we'll
spot.
see if
We'll
we
see
can
if we can do
link
it.
them
We gotta
somehow.
do it.
Okay,
We gotta do it.
we're gonna try it.
You guys are gonna help us too. You're gonna be like,
Mhm,
well, this is
mhm.
this, and those are both 90s, and he directed this. You guys are gonna help us. I know you will. They're smart cookies.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they are.
Yeah.
You guys are the best listeners.
Why
The
is
smartest
that a
listener.
phrase, by the way? Smart cookies. Like cookies have never been smart.
So
I don't.
I used to have an idiom book, and
Ooh,
we could have looked that up and we
okay.
found the origin because it has the
Someone tell
origin of the
us
idiom.
what the origin of smart cookie is.
Thank you. I would
Okay.
love that.
All right.
I looked it
Okay.
up.
Oh, great. Ben has already
Oh,
on the
did you,
case
Ben?
on
Yeah.
it.
So it appears to have developed in the 1920s.
Okay.
They think it's because cookie was used as a positive slang term for woman. So it was basically saying she was a
Oh.
smart woman.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Why was cookie used for women? Because women are sweet.
I have no idea, but I can find out.
Okay.
All right. You
Great.
do that, and
Thanks,
we'll
Ben.
do important things over here.
So, before we get into drawing our movies out of the hat, want to know, what have you been up to? What's happening? What's going on?
Can I talk about stuff with the Schmodown?
I don't know.
No, I don't think I can.
I don't know what you can talk about.
Things are developing and happening.
Developing and happening.
Yeah.
They are.
And that's fun. I got a new part-time job
Okay.
with a group called Arena Cine Lounge, which is like a series of theaters, and they show, promote, do premieres and special events for independent film. So that's really cool.
That's
and
perfect.
It's right up my alley.
That is exactly up your alley.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and it's opening all kinds of doors, and hopefully I can leave my current job and now get my first full-time real job in the industry.
Nice.
Which would be
I would love that.
fantastic,
That would
which
be
is-
fantastic for sure.
Yeah. Yes, that's my ultimate goal. What's going on with you?
Let's see. What is going on with me? My kids are back in school. Thank
God.
the Lord.
Thank God.
This is like the second week. I went to Seattle over the weekend. I went to this thing called PAX. Is that Penny
PAX?
Arcade Convention? Is that how you'd call it?
Penny Arcade Expo.
Penny Arcade Expo. I've never been to a video game convention in my life. My husband was working it. He invited me to come, and I was able to get a pass.
Cool.
So I know a little bit about video games through him, and obviously I follow Kind of Funny, so I really enjoy the content that they put out. It's not they put out not only video games but other content as well, and so I've learned a few things. First of all, game conventions are very dark, and there's a reason for that because obviously people are playing games. They want to be able to see the games. So it's dark walking around the floor. And I also learned it's pretty much 80 or 85% men, pretty much white men. And then
Really?
like the rest 15% women. Maybe.
Maybe
What
20.
would you guess?
I'd
20
probably guess
at
20.
most?
Like
Okay.
I saw a fair amount of women, but it definitely was more predominantly men. I was there too, guys.
Yes. I met up with Ben. as well as
Mhm.
our buddy Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Yeah, we took a
Um,
photo.
We saw Greg Miller do a panel of Kind of Funny. It was
Cool.
great. It was fantastic. He talked about life after being in remission of cancer for 5 years now, and I just love that people are able to talk about topics that are below the surface that have
Yeah.
to do with gaming and things like that
I like
attached to gaming.
Yeah, like he was able to take like the platform he has from, joking around and doing all that kind of stuff and present something really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's what I did.
Cool. So many fun
It's
things in
fun.
our life.
Got my hair colored there. Got my nails done there. What?
Looks
so
good.
so much things.
So many
And
things.
yeah, now we're ready to head into our hat of movies.
Fuck yes, let's do this. By the way, someone, I think it was Geek Furious in there, said they meant to say congrats, Stacy, but there was a space, so it said conga rats, Stacy, and that's who I am on the inside. I feel like is a conga rat, so I'm really excited for this.
Okay.
So, again, we have 16
16.
films in here. We're picking out 6, so we're talking about 6 movies like we normally do, and we have to link them up like we normally do, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Hold on. We
So
don't.
this is
We
exciting.
think we haven't talked about any of these,
I don't think so. And if we have, it was a long time ago.
and we're sorry.
What are you looking at? You can't
I'm
look.
not. I'm trying to separate because there were 2 that were attached.
Okay, I feel like you're cheating.
I'm not. You
All
go
right.
first.
Okay, good. All right, picking out one. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Is it yours? Is it mine?
Memoirs of a Geisha
Oh,
is mine.
okay. It
All
is
right,
yours.
there's
I have
one.
never seen that.
Oh.
Tell me all
Oh,
about
no,
it.
we got to pick out the others.
Oh,
Okay.
we're picking out
We're
all
picking
6
out
right
all
now.
6.
Oh dear.
And then we
Okay.
got to link them up,
Okay.
and
I'm
then
gonna
we'll talk
pick
about
one.
them. Okay, you pick one. Second
I've
movie.
picked The Butterfly Effect.
Oh, with Ashton Kutcher?
yeah.
Jesus Christ. How are we going to link this up with Memoirs of a
I don't
Geisha?
know.
I don't know. All right.
You guys can all help
Here
us.
we go. Number 3, Antitrust. What is
Antitrust.
that?
Yeah.
Antitrust. What is that?
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay.
Oh, I got 2. I'll go with yours.
Okay.
Secretary.
Secretary.
Okay. One
Okay.
more for you.
All right. Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Perfect. I think I have that on DVD right now. And Office Space.
Nice.
Have we really not talked
nice.
about Office Space?
I don't think we have.
Okay.
If we have, it was a while back.
All right.
We can repeat movies. That's okay. All right. Oh, geez, Louise.
So
on the
how many?
cross.
We got
We got
2 of
6.
mine
Okay.
and 4 of yours. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I have not seen pretty much any of your. No, I've seen Office Space. I have
Uh-huh.
not seen Secretary
Okay.
or Hellboy 2, but Hellboy 2 is
The better one.
in, I think, upstairs. I need
Okay.
to watch it.
Hellboy 2: The Golden Army is one of the best comic book movies, hands down. Very underrated. What's Antitrust?
Antitrust.
What is that?
That's Tim Robbins. That's Ryan
Felipe?
Felipe, Rachel Lee Cook. It's
Oh.
kind of about he's Tim Robbins is like Bill Gates, and they're trying to recruit people to work for Microsoft, which isn't Microsoft, and they're making this program that's going to, it's basically what Apple is today. It's going to connect everyone all at once. So if you have like a message you want to send out, it's going to go on all your devices,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be like someone's in charge of the message that's getting sent out. So it's kind of in a way communist / 1984 in that manner. But I feel like it's called Nerve. I don't know. I can't remember if it's called Nerve. I want to say 99. I want to say 99, guys.
Best year for cinema.
And so I'm not positive, but I believe it's 99.
Okay.
But basically, like what they're doing in antitrust is they're watching people and they're getting rid of their competition by surveilling them.
I think I know how to do this.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start with the Office Space then. From
Okay.
Office Space, we're gonna go movies that take place in an office. Secretary does. Antitrust, I'm sure, has an office.
It has an office. There's an office. There's an office in that.
Okay. Oh, we should have picked 7.
You're right. We need
Okay,
one more.
We'll get one more.
Let's get one of mine.
Okay.
Since
Is
you
this one
have
of yours?
Is
Nope.
it? We'll throw it out.
Okay.
Keep going until you get one of mine.
I feel like this
You're
is
right. We should have
yours.
picked 7. yes.
The
Okay.
skulls. Okay. So now
The
remaining, we
skulls.
have the Butterfly Effect, the Skulls, Memoirs of a Geisha, and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. Okay.
I have no idea how that's gonna link at all.
Secretary has costumes of some sort. 'Cause
Okay.
she puts on some like S&M little things.
Okay.
So from Secretary, we can do films with costumes, and it's Memoirs of a Geisha because
Okay.
they wear their full geisha outfit. And you
Sure.
can do Hellboy 2: The Golden Army because it's a comic book film and people have costumes.
Okay, great.
Okay. And then from Antitrust, we can do films with
Antitrust.
not controversy, but like conspiracy theories. And that's what's the Skulls about?
Sure. The Skulls. You haven't seen the Skulls? Oh man, this is great.
No.
The Skulls has Joshua Jackson as well as Paul Walker.
Oh, wait. I know this movie. I've never
It's
seen
like
it.
at a
though.
college.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
He
like a
wants to be a
cult?
lawyer. It's kind of a cult. It's more of a fraternity. A fraternity, if you will.
Like an evil
Mhm.
fraternity.
Evil fraternity. There's a
Okay.
fraternity also in Butterfly Effect and the Skulls. If there was a fraternity in Antitrust, it could kind of work. It's kind of a fraternity because it's all
Well-
dudes working at the place. I mean, there's a few women.
I think that this is so Antitrust is probably about like conspiracy theories and like hidden things. Like you don't know what's really going
You
on.
don't know what's really happening. Sure.
Which is part of the Skulls and the
Sure.
Butterfly Effect.
Let's
Because
do
who
that.
knows
Okay.
what fucking happened in that movie? I don't remember. I just know Amy Adams is like a hooker, but then she's a
It's not
shorty
Amy
girl.
Adams. It's Amy Smart.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right.
Okay. So here's
we got it.
what we have.
Yeah.
Let's go from the top and let's just talk about
From the top
what
down.
all movies we picked out.
Yes.
Office Space.
Mhm.
Then movies that take place in some sort of office or have an office scene or something.
Yes.
Secretary and Antitrust.
Yes.
Office Secretary, we're going with people
Movies
that
with
dressed up.
costume.
Movies with like costumes that are,
Yeah.
you know, that
Costumes of some kind.
of some kind.
Right.
Okay.
With Memoirs of a
specific.
Geisha
All right.
and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Excellent. And off of Antitrust, going to characters that don't really know what's going on.
Sure.
All right. And we're going with the Butterfly Effect as well as the Skulls.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be a good time. Okay.
This is going to be great.
Starting with Office Space.
And we didn't prep any notes for
No
any of
notes.
these.
We
So
don't
we're
know
just going to
what's
talk
happening.
about the movies.
Yeah,
And how we
yeah.
like them. So we can't give you stats.
No trivia. We
Specifics.
don't know.
You can help
you
us.
guys help us. Let us know, like, this was released in 97 and directed
Mhm.
by
I feel like
so-and-so.
Office Space is also 99.
It might have been.
Okay.
All I know is that it's directed by, what's it, Mike Judge?
Milton. Yeah.
That
Mike
does
Mike-
Milton
Yes.
and also Beavis and Butthead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. He did the Milton
yeah.
stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There.
99.
It's 99. Wow. Okay.
99 is
Okay.
great. 99 is
It's a
great.
good- it's a good
Antitrust
time.
2001. So close.
2001.
So
Oh,
close.
so close.
Okay.
I love
so
Office Space because everyone can relate to it that's worked in an office.
Yes,
All
they
the
can.
ridiculous office politics that go on, the mundane activity, and that you don't care what your job is or
Mhm.
what's happening. You just want to kind of get through the day. But then there are people that really do care and take it seriously.
Yes.
And you're like, you know
Cover
what?
sheet.
You need to calm down.
You need that cover sheet.
Cover sheet.
You
Yeah.
forgot it.
If you don't have that cover sheet on these TPA reports, no,
TPS.
TPS
Mm-hmm.
reports. Right. Sips coffee.
I also love his neighbor in the movie.
What's that
I don't
guy's
remember that guy's name, but he was great.
I remember he was on the Drew Carey show,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And whose line is it anyway? I feel like maybe he had been on that as well. He's a funny guy. What's up with
He
him?
is.
What's he doing?
Who knows what he's doing?
I bet he got a few good paychecks and is just like living it out in the desert.
That's could be happening to him.
I think it
very
is.
well could
I
be.
think I predict
Other
that.
things I like about this movie, if you go on like Funny or Die, they did a edit of it where they
Mhm.
inserted actual Michael Bolton as Michael Bolton.
Ha!
So then they
Perfect.
go through the scenes where they talk about Michael Bolton and then it's him and it's hilarious. They changed the lines a little bit. So he's like, yeah, I love everything he does too, or something like that.
I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. That's
So
brilliant.
it's pretty cute. The
Michael
editing's
Bolton.
not so great, but
You know, with stuff like that, like they're not winning any Oscars for editing. What is
that's
in
true.
there?
It's just it's just on the internet. So
Mhm. Who hasn't wanted to take a bat to a printer fax machine? Neil
Yes.
Varma, you are right.
That is correct.
My printer at my work all the time fucks up.
And
I'm like,
apparently, like during the scene, it actually did jam. And so the character that plays Michael Bolton was like, load letter? What does that mean? Like, and he like really did not know. So it was already malfunctioning. I worked in school and we definitely had times where the printer was not working. The one machine like I knew like front and back was the Ricoh machine, which is a very specific copier. That's like the best one. If you can't get on that one, it's like great. I gotta wait for the like really high end one that always breaks down because it never knows what it's actually supposed to do. There's just too many things. When there's too many things to do, it's like I can't handle it.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
This is a lot about copying and being a teacher and the struggles. The
PC
struggles.
load letter. Don't take my stapler. The sales of red staplers went up
They
after
did.
this so much that they had to reissue. Thank you. Reissue their line of red staplers because they hadn't released them since that time. So they were like, oh fuck, all these people want red staplers. We got to do this again.
They do.
So there we go.
I don't have one, but a girl at my school did have one.
I want a red stapler really bad.
Well, maybe
I
for
actually
Christmas,
want-
if
I
you
want,
are
like,
a good Stacy,
If I'm
then
a good movie girl,
then
I'll
maybe
get it.
you'll get it.
I actually want I want like a pink one or maybe a teal one. Yeah.
Teal would be. It's like Tiffany.
Yeah,
Tiffany teal.
Tiffany teal. Please, if you don't get me a
Mm.
fucking Tiffany teal stapler, I swear to God, I'm walking off this podcast.
All right. All right.
What do you want for Christmas?
Gosh, I just want existential health.
Okay, I'm gonna get that for you.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna become a doctor and figure it out.
I really do like. Geek Furious has mentioned the flare. I really appreciated.
Oh, here's my
Tchotchkes.
flare.
Yes, and how she quits her job. So good for her. I'm sure there's some place where someone has done some sort of cosplay for Office Space and they've had a jump to conclusions map. Like I'm sure someone has done
It's
that.
a jump to conclusions, Matt. It's perfect. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. And he deserved that success too. Good for him. He had been stressed out his whole life at this horrible job and, you know, got a big payoff for it. So there you go.
Oh,
Existential
I think our buddy Kyle is here. Hey, Kyle.
Kyle.
Is
Our
that
Kyle?
you? Fan theory?
Oh,
Kyle.
maybe. Hi, Kyle. Guys, Kyle is a fabulous fan theory over there. Is a fabulous person, and I've been on his new show that's coming out. And you're gonna go on there, and he's always a good time. So always check out his stuff.
I'm
He's
excited.
fantastic
I'm
and
excited.
creative, and does green screen things, and just so much fun. So much fun.
Thank you for being here, Kyle.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate the support. As
Yes.
with everyone that's in the chat, thank you so
Yes.
much, Laura, Neil, Jack, Star Drew, of course, Ben. You get our support.
Is it Kyle Eilerman?
Yes.
Yeah.
He just sent me a friend request. Hi, Kyle.
Oh,
Mayank,
wow, he's on
thank
top
you for
of
being
it.
here. Thank you.
Mayank, hello. Laura H. Okay, so Office Space. So now we're
Office
going to
Space.
move
Let's
to
move.
movies that have an office scene in them or take place in an office
Yes.
with Secretary and Antitrust.
I've wanted to see Secretary. I
It
have.
is one of my
Geek
favorite
Furious,
movies.
thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Okay. And I know it's James Spader
Yes.
and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
And I know that they have quite a relationship. Hello, Robert.
They do. What I love about Secretary is the subject of BDSM relationships can be quite taboo and quite controversial. So when they have this very lovely, very beautiful relationship in the film, it sheds a positive, sweet light on it. And so it's not like 50 Shades and all that bullshit where it's about control and hurting one another. It's that he, feels compelled to do this, and that's what turns him on. And she wants the same kind of relationship, but hadn't really realized it. And once she enters it, she was like, I love this man. I want to be with him. And it's a very sweet ending where they kind of go through some rocky things.
Yeah,
and
don't tell me the ending, though.
But it's lovely. It's a lovely, sweet film.
I'm excited.
About people who like to spank each other. So
interesting.
it's very kinky and fun.
Should I watch this with my husband then?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Or would
And
I
there's
be
not
like-
a lot of sex in there. Like there's one scene where he spanks her at first and she was like, what, huh? And then she's like shocked that she liked it. and it portrays it in a way where you're like, these people are just normal people. They're lawyers and secretaries, they're doctors, they're school teachers, they're everything, but this is what they're into, and behind closed doors. But they do have a healthy, normal relationship that works for them, and it's not dirty and kinky and gross. It's just, if you're into that, you're into that, and they still support each other and love each other, and they help each other. So
well, that sounds kind of nice.
it's really sweet. It's a sweet movie about spanking.
Now, and maybe the chat can help us out and tell us when Secretary was released. Was this mid 90s, like 95?
I feel like it's like 2002 or something.
Oh, so later. Okay,
I feel like it's in the 2000s.
we're gonna find
This
out.
is before James Spader got fat. He was still hot in this.
When did he get fat?
He's fat now.
Oh, I
Come
didn't
on.
know. I haven't been paying
he did
attention.
The Blacklist, and he was
Oh,
Robert California on The
got it.
Office, and he had let himself engorge. And 2002. Thank you, Elise. But yeah, he's super hot in this, and I was like, he's hot and powerful, and like he's like standoffish and like, don't get too close to me. But like Maggie Gyllenhaal is his girl, and so she does break that barrier, and it's great.
Interesting.
Great times.
Also wanted to say hey to Alan and Eric in the chat as well.
I didn't know he was ever hot, and I just looked it up, and I am shook.
Wow, you are shook.
In Pretty in
Sex
Pink,
Lies
he
and
is
Videotape?
fine.
Isn't he in Sex Lies and
I
Videotape?
never saw that one. He is in
I feel like
Crash,
it.
but not the Crash that everyone thinks of. He's in
yeah.
the other one.
the other Crash.
That
Yes.
the other one with
Meryl Streep.
who directed
no, not Meryl Streep.
who directed Mulholland Drive?
David Lynch.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
in David Lynch's Crash.
Got it.
I think that's who directed Crash. And it's like people who get turned on by car crashes, so they do it on purpose. And they get turned on by like broken bones and stuff. It's really weird. There's really weird.
Well, David Lynch. It's got to be really
It's David
weird.
Lynch.
Matt, thank you for joining us in the chat. Let's go to Antitrust.
Okay.
I kind of went over it.
I don't know this film.
It's a thriller. Like it's definitely it's one of those trying to escape something and you can't figure out how to escape it. You know what I'm saying? Like Man on the Run almost.
Oh. Okay.
Who can I trust? Claire Forlani is in this.
Who?
Do you remember Claire Forlani? She was also in Meet Joe Black.
I didn't see that
She
one.
was in, what's that movie? I'm thinking of Jason Biggs and Claire Forlani. Oh, Boys and Girls? Is that what it's called? I don't remember.
I
Freddie
don't
Prinze
know.
Jr.
I don't know
was
any
in
of
it.
the words that you're saying.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't, because it's antitrust, he doesn't know who to trust. And he has been picked up to work on this program thinking it's a good thing when it really might not be a good thing.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And
it's
so he's
like
trying
the
to figure
Devil's
out.
Advocate.
Sure. Yes.
I love that movie.
Keanu
we got to do
Reeves.
Devil's Advocate sometime.
Why not? I mean,
God, I love that film so much. Who did it? Little me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Al
God.
Pacino is just
He's
out
so
of
yelly.
control. Yeah, what happened to Claire Forlani? I saw her once in person because she came in. Okay, I worked for this production company called Shadow Machine Films at the time. Now I believe it's Shadow Animation or Shadow Machine Animation. I'm not positive, but they were going to be doing a movie on the Zodiac called The Zodiac. This was before David Fincher's Zodiac. And she came in to read for one of the main characters, which went to Robin Tunney, actually. So there you go. There you go. They ended up
Robin
making the
Tunney
film.
from The Craft.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So antitrust. Yeah, he's on the run. Rachel Lee Cook also works for this company. It's supposed to be like Microsoft and they're taking over the world. It really is like what today Apple is today. Like if Apple wanted to send us all a message at once, it can. I mean, it does when there's like emergencies and stuff. So, but this was more like like we want to control the content that's coming to you. So there you go.
Isn't the content that's coming to us already controlled though?
It really is.
Because guess who buys face masks all the time at CVS? And then guess who got an email this morning? Moisturize your face with this new product from CVS. And I was like, fuck. And then I was like, I gotta go buy that now. So it works, and we're all just a slave to the machine, you guys.
We're just a slave.
We're living in the matrix. I'm into it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
They know
the
what
one
we need.
Cool technology that he had in this film that I really appreciated was the Bill Gates character, Tim Robbins. He has these art pieces,
Mhm.
and it will change. Like when you're in front of it, it'll change to be something for you, like your favorite art piece or like something
Whoa.
that's going on with your mood. It's the
Whoa.
most crazy thing that I've
That's
seen. And I
crazy.
thought, wow, that could be really cool. But then that could also be a problem, as you may find in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open this bag of hot Cheetos.
Bag of Hot Cheetos is coming out. We have not had Hot Cheetos on this program for a while.
We haven't.
I don't remember the last time. Maybe it was with Hector and Adam, but that
Maybe.
was
That was a watch
we made
along.
that was with them. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that was
You
a
know
watch-
what though? This is a casual show today. We did no prep. We're going off the cuff.
Mhm.
So I want to eat while we talk.
Right. We already
So-
talked about Office Space, Secretary, and Antitrust. Now let's go off of Secretary. I've never seen either of the films you have, so you're gonna have to go through both of those.
I love it. Okay. So we pulled out Memoirs of a Geisha and Hellboy to the Golden Army. So I'm gonna go. Secretary has a. How dare you, Ben? How dare you? Aren't they so good though? They're so good. They're addicting.
Ben crawled over here.
He literally crawled like a toddler and was like, oh, So from Secretary, we're gonna go with movies where people wear some kind of costume because she wears like little outfits and she has like a little
Mhm.
like arm strap thing in there. So she has some kind of like costume on. So in Memoirs of a Geisha, they have their full geisha outfit. So that's kind of like a costume. And in Hellboy to the Golden Army, it's a comic book film. Obviously, people have costumes on in that. I mean, it's their clothes, but it's like a comic book costume. So there you go. Memoirs of a Geisha. This film is one of my dad's favorite films, and it's super long. And it's a fantastic, beautiful, like 10 Oscar-winning period piece about, is it the 1940s Japan? Right before the World War has started, and about fighting geishas that are both in the same geisha house. The beginning of the film starts out as young children are sold into the geisha house,
Oh,
and then I know, and
I mean, that shit's still going on.
yeah, and so
Maybe not specifically geisha houses, but
human trafficking is still
Yes.
a thing. And so as young women, they have to learn how to be a geisha, and they have to earn their basically earn their buying price back and work for the geisha house in order to be free. But like no one could ever earn that back, so you kind of like stay with your geisha house the whole time. And it's a fascinating look at this cutthroat, savage world of women that was 1940s Japan. And geishas are, and it was a great look because some people think, oh, geishas are like prostitutes, and they weren't. They were some of the most well-read, educated, sophisticated women within their community, and men would pay to take them out on dates, take them to the opera and tea houses, and they just wanted a beautiful, cultured woman to be on their arm. And if you wanted to have sex with them, sleep with them, then you had to pay an exorbitant amount of money. So if
Okay.
you wanted to, let's
so
say
they were
take,
escorts.
they were escorts basically, but it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it's a horrible situation. Like, what woman wants to do that? But it wasn't seen as something that's like dirty. It was like a very it was a very honorable, I guess, thing to have, to be the celebrated geisha of your community in your neighborhood. So if you were like,
Interesting.
they would put on these plays where you would have to sing and dance. And so being the geisha that's like coming out, she's presenting herself to the world as, I've been training since I was 10 years old. I'm now a woman. My virginity is for sale. So people will pay like 15,000-20,000 yen to buy the virginity. And you would present yourself and have like a show, like a concert, like an opera almost. And so you would do a dance and just be like, here I am. And they'd have parties in your honor. And it's this entire world that us Westerners really knew nothing about. And so when the war happened and they come over, they're like, who are these? What's going on here? And so it's just a look into the very small, very cutthroat, close-knit community of these women that are trying to compete against one another to be the most beautiful, celebrated geisha. And she falls in love, and of course you're not supposed to do that. And
of course, that's
it's
always
a whole
what
journey.
happens. This sounds like something my mom would really like if the running time was an hour and 30 minutes.
No way. It's like almost 3 hours.
Because she can only handle that. Maybe she'd watch it in 2 days.
I think she could. because
Okay.
it's like basically 3 acts. It's like she's a kid, she's a
Mhm.
celebrated geisha, the war happens. It spans decades.
Okay.
So that's what that is. So yeah, she
right,
could watch it
Memoirs
half
of
and
a
half.
Geisha.
Memoirs of a Geisha. Next, other movie where people are wearing costumes is Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. This is one of my favorite comic book films.
I liked Hellboy. I've seen
Yeah,
that.
it's fantastic. The Golden Army, the second one, has a gorgeous animated I think it's stop motion or like claymation series in it. And it is they have an underground like troll market scene, so it's kind of like a Mos Eisley thing
Oh.
where you're like,
Huh.
what's how much stuff can we fit into the frame? And so it's like all handmade, puppets and animatronic things, and it just looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous, and I believe it was nominated for some Oscars for set design and costumes, and who knows, but it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite comic book films, and it's super underrated. They have a very heartbreaking story where basically it's like kind of like an elvish kingdom long ago was supposed to be in charge, but then they ended up retreating back so that the world of men can have their world and they stay in their own separate world. And one of the prince of that world was like, no, we shouldn't have to hide, we shouldn't have to do all this. And the king was like, yes, we will, you have no say in this. And he was like excommunicated. So this is the prince trying to come back and reclaim his throne, reclaim everything. So he's like the bad guy, but in his world he's like a martyr. He's like, I'm gonna bring my people back to the forefront, we're gonna be successful and powerful again. And he's doing what he thinks is right. And he's devastated because he's been taken from his home for hundreds, thousands of years, who knows, and living in the shadows. And so he wants to come back, and you feel for him, you feel his pain, you feel his frustration. And so he's a great bad guy because you sympathize with him and you want him to succeed in some way. And I loved it. I loved the storyline. I loved the visuals were fantastic. They meet kind of like
You
death.
just love Ron Perlman. Let's
I
be
do.
honest.
I
You
saw
saw
Ron
him.
Perlman at the gym like 2 days ago, and I was like, Ron. And I think he looked at me like several times, probably because I was doing my workout wrong and just like flailing around with the weights. But I
Probably
know
not.
he
Probably
looked at
not.
me several times, and I looked at him, and we might have had a moment. And he was training with his trainer, who it was just in like khakis. And I'm like, who is this guy? You could tell he's just like a friend of his from
I
a
saw
friend
a
of Ron's.
girl at the gym in Uggs once, and I was like, "Why are you here?
What is going
What
on?
is happening?"
What is going on? Are you excited for the Hellboy remake, Stacey? I am, because wait, who's doing?
Let us know a little bit more about the Hellboy remake
Please
and
tell
what the
me.
rumors are, because I feel like it's still rumors at this time.
I think, but didn't they have a dinner and they were like, yeah, he's gonna be the new Hellboy, and I can't remember who it was. It's not Josh Brolin, is it? Tell me,
That just-
Kyle.
that wouldn't
With
make
David Harbour from
sense.
Stranger Things. Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes.
Yes, I am, because that guy understands fandom.
Do you think my husband looks like David Harbour?
No.
Okay, because
He doesn't.
someone. Oh, Ben thinks maybe.
I wouldn't think it, but if you point out like, oh, there are similarities, I can
Yeah.
kind of see that, but it's not like, oh yeah, that is the likeness of your husband.
Yeah.
Like you've mentioned,
someone compared the two, and I was like, really?
yeah, that wouldn't have been my thought.
I don't know. I don't think they look alike at all. But I do know that I loved him in. He's done some other more
Black
serious
Mass.
films. Black Mass. I loved him in Revolutionary Road with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. He's great in that. So he's done some dramatic stuff. But Stranger Things is the most recent thing he's done, and I can completely picture him as Hellboy because he has a presence, a manly man presence, and he has the cool guy factor where you want to be protected by him, you want to be friends with him, you want to be in his life because he just seems like he'd be a cool guy. And Ron Perlman has that. I know, I'm friends with him from the gym. So he has that same thing. So yeah, I'm excited for the remake. Cool.
Right.
Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. Watch it. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous film.
I'm gonna watch it. I think I have it upstairs. I need to check.
Let's watch Hellboy 2 today. What
so
are we?
We went from Office Space to Secretary to Antitrust.
Mhm.
For Office Secretary, we went to Memoirs of a Geisha and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Yes.
Now we're going off of Antitrust, linking to movies where people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And let's go with the
You
Butterfly
talk about
Effect.
both because I don't really know anything about these films.
Have you seen the Butterfly Effect or no?
I have.
Okay, so I feel like The Butterfly Effect is one of those super underrated sci-fi films. It stars Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart, and he realizes that he can like go back to certain points of time, like as that age, and he can change something in that time. And if he changes something, it changes his present time. And so he tries out a few different things because he knows that his girlfriend was abused as a child, and so he wants to make it so that way she is free of that and doesn't have to live with that in her life. But in order to do that, he might have to sacrifice certain things about his life. So it's kind of interesting. I find that I've watched it maybe 2 or 3 times. I might own it. I'm not sure. Do I own it? I can't remember. But I find that it's a movie that I think about long after I've watched it. And I find that movies that do that are important, even if maybe they're bad. You know? I don't think it's bad though. He doesn't travel through
Doesn't he write
Notepad.
notes though? I forgot. I haven't seen this movie in
I was
years,
like,
and I wasn't really paying attention when I was watching it.
gosh, now you're making me question. But either way, he's able to travel back in time. He has to like see, yeah, he has to see something that will make it so he gets back to that memory.
Mm.
So maybe it's a note or maybe it's a picture. I swear he has to somehow he has to be in that memory. I remember him watching like a video of himself and like the neighbor girl, and then he was able to go back into that time because he saw that video of them. Something like that. I don't I believe there was a different ending on the DVD. Like they had an alternate ending, but I
Really?
didn't watch it. So I don't know. There's something coming up on my computer. I should probably watch it though. I mean, maybe it's good. Who knows?
Mhm.
Sometimes alternate endings or director's cuts are like better than the actual movie.
Sometimes
Mhm.
they ruin it though. Like there's I saw some BuzzFeed article where it was like this scene, would have ruined the Devil Wears Prada if it was in it, and they were totally right. So look up
Oh,
that
you're gonna have
article.
to tell me this. We'll talk about it
We'll
later.
talk about it after.
Well, we
Look up that
will.
article though.
I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so the butterfly effect. I mean, that's just the basics. I find, like I said, I feel like it's an underrated time travel sci-fi film that people don't give a lot of love to,
Mm.
and I think
Cool.
I think it deserves more love than it gets.
I remember that it was a cool theory, but then I didn't like any of the
Mhm.
acting in it, so I was like, I don't want to
I
watch
feel
this.
like you could redo this movie with like higher caliber actors, and
Mm,
people would probably embrace it more.
maybe. Or
I
if
don't
it
know.
was, I feel like it was like, I can't remember. I feel like it was like cheesy a little bit.
Sure.
Like it was pandering a little too much to the relationship versus I don't know. I haven't seen it in years. I
Okay.
forgot. I remember not really liking it, but I watched the whole thing and I was like, why am I watching this? But I was compelled about the concept of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going back in time. What's going to change? What's going to happen? How's it going to affect
Mhm.
everything? I liked that, but
Right.
I didn't like the execution of it. But I liked the
I
idea.
didn't like the other thing that I didn't like was that there's a sequel and apparently it's just terrible. That's all I know.
Oh,
I
who's in
can't
the
judge. I
sequel?
haven't seen it. I don't know. I just know there's a sequel. That's
Eric
that's
Monroe,
basic.
Kingdom of Heaven director's cut made it a great film. Heard that as well. That's Ridley Scott,
Mhm.
right? Is Kingdom of Heaven?
Could be.
That movie introduced me to Eva Green, and I was like, "Who's this woman?" And I remember being
Two
super
sequels.
curious because I didn't know anything about leprosy besides the one episode I saw of uh, the X Files. And so apparently, and it's Edward Norton who was the king in Kingdom of Heaven, which I didn't realize. And he has leprosy, and he was hiding it with the mask the whole time. And they took the mask away, and they showed his
Mm.
face for a second. And I was like, so that's all. That's my main takeaway from Kingdom of
Okay.
Heaven is that's what
Okay.
happens to your face when you have leprosy. All right, I
Mm.
think, I think that was leprosy. Someone tell me.
Lois Lane from Smallville was in Butterfly Effect too. I love her. She is my favorite. Erica Durance. She's like my crush.
Oh,
Yeah, she's on
it's
my
a random
crush
crush
list.
to have because
I
she
know.
doesn't do a lot.
I know, but she's one of my favorites. All right, going to the last film, The Skulls. Okay, let's talk about The Skulls, which you haven't seen apparently. It's like a fraternity at college and everyone wants to get in it, but they don't really know that it exists, but it does exist and it's for the elite. And if you get in it, then you like have all these perks and maybe you'll get to go to law school. Who knows? Like,
Isn't it like they've sacrificed someone or something?
they don't have
Like
to
it's
sacrifice
cynical.
someone, but they like have to pledge their allegiance to the skulls. And if they don't, then they're like, they're going to ruin their lives if they don't pledge their allegiance to the skulls. So like once you're in, you are in and you cannot get out. Yeah.
But if
But-
it's got all the perks, then why not be in the skulls?
Because maybe they're killing people, you know. There is a
Whoa.
death that happens and so I think that was the turning point. Sorry,
Oh.
that's I apologize for that spoiler, but like there has to be a turning point of hey, this is wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Otherwise, who would want to get out of it? Why is it so extreme?
Yeah. So I think well, I won't get into the other spoilers then because I don't want
Wikipedia
to I
said
don't want to
It
get
is based on the fraternity George W. Bush was in. Interesting.
Yes, I did know that it was based on like a real life fraternity, and we all have secret fraternities.
Yeah.
There was one at SC.
Sorry, there's flies
This
everywhere.
fly
Keep
is
going.
like there's definitely a secret fraternity at SC. I believe it's like Cloak and Dagger, but
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't in it. I know someone that was maybe in it. Who knows? I don't really know what the stuff is, but yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, I was in a sorority and we never did any of that shit.
But you have secret stuff,
We have secret stuff, but it was like a joke.
secret handshakes.
We have secret handshakes and we had like our little, initiation ceremony, but it's like we were like laughing the whole time. It was kind of silly.
because it's just the most
Because it's
ridiculous.
silly. And
thing.
you're like, what? Why? Huh? Yeah.
There were
It
so
wasn't-
many
it wasn't
things in
serious.
that in the ceremony that I'm like, what are we even talking about? Stars in the,
The
sky?
bodkin?
What's
What?
happening?
What's the bodkin?
But
They like fake point a knife at you and they're like, should you betray your sisters, this will pierce your heart. And you're like, okay. It's crazy.
other people in the skulls are Craig T. Nelson. He plays a good evil guy,
Oh.
as well as William Peterson. Do you know him? You probably know him.
Who's
He's
that?
he was in Manhunter. He was
watch that.
also you would love Manhunter because it's like
It's
about
Silence of
Hannibal
the Lambs,
Lecter.
right?
Yeah. And he was
It's Fred Drake.
also on CSI, like the first CSI Las
I never
Vegas.
watched that show.
Oh,
I don't
He
watch
played
any of the
Grissom. He was
NCIS,
great. Leslie
CSI,
Bibb.
Bones, none of that. Leslie Bibb.
she's great.
Cool.
Leslie Bibb, seeing her in, I swear she is in Ricky Bobby. What's that movie?
Talladega Nights?
Yeah, I swear she's in that. And I'm like, that does not look like the same person from the Skulls at all.
Huh.
And maybe it's not her. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I don't remember. Anyways,
I don't know.
sorry, my memory is terrible today.
I don't know. That's what no research does.
Yes.
You don't know what's happening. I don't know what's gonna happen.
The
I
one
didn't
misstep from the Skulls is they used a song from the band Creed. So
What?
they did a little misstep there. They didn't realize that people would
With
not be-
arms wide open
would not be into
into
Creed.
sunlight. Welcome to this place. I'll show you
think that's the
everything. That's it, right? That's Creed. Ah, fuck, I forgot. With arms wide open, you guys.
I don't think that's All right. Anyways,
So-
Skulls. We went from Office Space, then we linked it to Secretary and Antitrust because they both have scenes at least in an office.
Yeah.
Off of Secretary, you went to movies where there's costuming,
Costumes?
predominant costumes,
Sure.
with Memoirs of a Geisha as well as Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Off of Antitrust, we went to characters that don't really know what's happening in the movie, and with the Skulls and the Butterfly Effect.
7 films. What a fun! I like this. Let's do this
Mhm.
every so often. We'll
Every
we'll
so
do
often.
other
Mhm.
episodes where we actually prep and know what we're talking about. But this, we just wanted to keep it light and casual
Right.
because we got a lot of stuff going on. So
Mhm.
we didn't have time to prep this week, and we were like, let's just wing it. So we're winging it today, and I really
So there
liked
you
that.
go.
That was cool.
Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Stacey, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at SOHoward2012, and Instagram at Stacey O'Howard. Okay, yeah, I need to ask you this, and I need to ask the people in the room this.
Okay.
In the chat room, not you, Ben. I don't care about you.
I'm here anyway.
I have. Should I change my Twitter to Stacey O'Howard so it's the same as my Instagram?
If you can, yes, you should.
Because I
And the
have
reason you
other-
should
yeah,
is
sorry.
because then it's all one-on-one
It's all
on
one.
Yeah.
platforms. If
That's
you
true.
can get it.
I hate that I can't.
Well, because the Stacey O'Howard, I have that Twitter. I used to use it as like a professional one,
Mm-hmm.
so I might delete it and then change my username for my current one. But
Got it.
so I don't need to do anything for it. Like I just need to go in and say change username.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
All right.
You
well,
might
I'm
have
gonna
to
try it.
close that account first, and then
Yeah,
you
I
can
have
get
to
it.
delete the other one. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
There
All right,
it
where
is,
can we
ladies and
find
gentlemen.
you?
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. I don't think I have anything else going on. Tomorrow I have film therapy. Jack
Oh.
Shipley's gonna be on.
Jack.
So what do you know, guys? What do you know? And that's all.
All right.
Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.